competitions first. Before we talk about the 5 things that Sony didn't tell us during the launch event for the new Xperias, which I find pretty weird, by the way, competitions. So 2 things, right? First thing, whoever can guess the date of when the actual 1 Mark III will go on sale in, let's say, the UK, the person who gets closest in terms of the date will win one of these things. Look, you know, I mean, a t-shirt. That's what we call these in the trade. T-shirt. This is an Xperia Experience Shoot Raw t-shirt. You can win one of these. Now, in case more than one of you guesses the correct date, I'm going to then say whoever guesses the USA release date will, something like that. I'll put the details in the description below. Oh, and the other competition thing is, you might remember we've given away Sonys before. I think the last one was the XZ3. All I'm saying is make sure you're subbed, because there could be another one of those types of competitions on the way. You know what I mean? So, the first thing that was missing, and I can't believe I'm having to say this again, but Sony didn't give us the release dates and they didn't give us the price. Now, sure, they did say early summer. Now, I've heard some people online saying that they meant early Japanese summer, which I'm told is kind of late June, early July, that sort of time. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but what I do know is that, and we've said this before, I know we have, all of us here in the comments it seems, you know, if they want to do this successfully, it's so much better to say, boom, here's the pre-order links, you know, here's the price, let's do this, let's get go, let's use this momentum to our advantage. But of course, yet again, we could be looking at a 2 or 3 month delay and then a gradual rollout to the markets where they do sell these phones, which isn't, of course, enough. A big shout out to our friends watching in India, Turkey, Pakistan, Latin America, all the countries around the world where you can't buy these phones easily. Before the launch event, I actually did send a few questions over once I received the kind of information as a whole, just to clear a few things up. One of them was the 4K 120Hz display. Can you actually do both simultaneously? Because there was a lot of evidence out there beforehand saying that that wasn't actually possible. If you want to run 4K, you got to drop the refresh rate down potentially to 60 Hz. You got to choose which way you want to go, rather like the Samsung approach, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen, but that wasn't explained in the launch event. Do you have an opinion on that? And if so, would it put you off if you can't get the 2 things simultaneously? Is that the impression you got from the launch event? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. The next thing, now I asked about this as well. I didn't get an answer. I still haven't had an answer. It seems a little bit odd to not have answers before the launch event, have the launch event, and then still not have answers after the launch event. But, you know, I love a challenge. So I asked about micro SD card slot. Are they all having them? And it turns out they are. But because of the absence of information on the expandable storage there, all kinds of misleading information's been flying around. I've seen like relatively credible news sources saying that the 5 Mark III wasn't going to have one or didn't have one. It does. We can relax, I think, because I've seen it on Sony's website and I'm sure that's accurate. But I mean, my goodness, we could have just dealt with that and had that information be out there in the first place. Now, the next thing is probably what I'm most worried about in terms of this phone getting naff reviews. It's the front-facing camera, and it looks, in terms of the specs here, like it's identical to last year. Now, one of our top commenters in the comment section below, and you know, top people here, do you know what? We're not the biggest YouTube channel in the world by a long stretch, but we do have some quality people here, really quality people, quality comments. Make sure you're subbed and part of the Sony 365 community. So Christopher Cressy here mentioned that this was actually a Samsung front-facing sensor, and that's unfortunate because it would have been nice to see something Sony up there, you know, for obvious reasons. And if it isn't Sony, for whatever reason, at least be good. And it isn't good. Well, it wasn't last time around with the 1 Mark II. That was my biggest bugbear, I suppose, because it was such a massive own goal. It didn't need to be that bad. The other thing that was completely missing from all of the information here was the Google Assistant button. Is that what it is? I mean, obviously we think it is because that's what we got last time around with the 5 Mark II. Can it be remapped? It's really important to know this, and I just wish it was possible to have an answer now. I feel like it would be fair for us to know. If it can't be remapped and it is a Google Assistant button, I want to know. Let me know in the comments section below. Would that wind you up, or are you a-okay with that? I know we have one person here from Sweden who's a big fan of it because apparently using the wake words It can be tricky if you speak a foreign language. I say foreign, I mean non-English, sorry. It could be difficult if you speak a non-English type of language you know what I mean. And I've just realized I've gone over my 5 things, so technically this is 6, but this is a bonus one. Okay, wireless charging and battery sharing feature are not possible on the 5 Mark III. It wasn't sort of clear, I wasn't sure. I gotta tell you, I was really surprised that the 5 Mark III wasn't introduced with wireless charging, because that was by far the biggest sticking point with all the tech reviews and with all the comments I saw below. The biggest sort of #1 deal breaker with the 5 Series there was the lack of wireless charging. I am surprised that isn't a thing with the 5 Mark III. It's a bit of a pity, although I have noticed in the comments section below, I think around about 40% or more worry about it. The rest just don't care. And that's fair enough. And if you do care that much, there's always the 1 Mark III, of course. But yeah, that was a bit of a strange one, I thought. So yeah, these are the 5 or more things that Sony didn't tell us. I really want to know why we cannot get to a point with these Xperia launches where we don't just have the event, open pre-orders immediately, and just get these phones on sale and in more countries. Is it just me? I mean, it's got to be possible, right? Anyway, let me know what you think about these missing pieces of information, and let me know if any of them affect your buying decisions. I'm just really interested to know what you guys think. I mean, you know what I think, and Bob and I will say goodbye, and we'll see you next time, as long as Bob's still alive, which is 50-50.